I have refined you, but not as silver is refined. Rather, I have refined you in the furnace of suffering. Isaiah 48:10. Most precious metals and gems, before being shown and utilized, must go through a refining process, which involves extreme heat in a molten furnace and or high sanding, friction, pounding, and chiseling, being shaped and polished, giving it the best appearance it can have. There's a process that we need to go through before God can exhibit us and use us, showing the world His glory, His love. That refining process is trial. Refining is used in the Bible as a metaphor for the process of 1. Spiritual growth, 2. Purification, and 3. Becoming more like Christ. In Revelation 3:18, Christ tells His lax, lukewarm church they need to buy from Him gold refined in the fire. Here's what St. Peter says about the gold. These trials will show that your faith is genuine. It is being tested as fire tests and purifies gold, though your faith is far more precious than mere gold. So when your faith remains strong through many trials, it will bring you much praise and glory and honor on the day when Jesus Christ is revealed to the whole world. 1 Peter 1:7. This is the faith that is working by love, mentioned in Galatians 5:6. Most of the time, we cry for the trial to be over. We, like Jacob in his night of wrestling, think it is the enemy trying to destroy us. Some exclaim, "The devil is a lie," when in fact it is the angel of the Lord, our loving God, trying to make us beautiful to fulfill His purpose. It is God working it out for our good according to His purpose. God uses trials to strengthen our dependence on Him, showing us our weakness so we can be strengthened with His strength. The more we depend on His strength, the stronger we become, and the more God can accomplish through us. The trials are for our benefit, not our destruction. Paul asked God 3 times to take his trial of pain away. Each time God said, "My grace is all you need. My power works best in your weakness." 2 Corinthians 12:9. God uses this buffering, this pain, to keep Paul from self-pride, which would disqualify Paul to be used as largely as he was used to the glory of God. Pride would get in the way of his effectiveness. Jesus said to Laodicea, "Those whom I dearly and tenderly love, I rebuke and discipline, showing them their faults and instructing them." Revelation 3:19. My son, do not despise or shrink from the chastening of the Lord. His correction by punishment or by subjection to suffering or trial. Neither be weary of or impatient about or loathe or abhor his reproof. For whom the Lord loves, He corrects, even as a father corrects the son whom he delights. Proverbs 3:11 and 12. Look at Jesus. Although He was a son, He learned special obedience through what He suffered, and His completed experience making Him perfectly equipped. He became the author and source of eternal salvation to all those who give heed and obey Him. Hebrews 5:8 through 9. And see what a true follower of Christ understands and rejoices in. And if we are His children, then we are His heirs also, heirs of God and fellow heirs with Christ, sharing His inheritance with Him. Only we must share His suffering if we are to share His glory. But what of that? For I consider that the sufferings of this present time, this present life, are not worth being compared with the glory that is about to be revealed to us and in us and for us and conferred on us. Romans 8:17 and 18. Bodybuilders and other athletes many times pay big money for a trainer to discipline and take them through painful measures to get them to the place where they will be able to show the perfect body and have the great performance athletically. This no pain, no gain understanding is only for this temporary life. Why not for the obtaining eternity? Don't you know that all the runners in the stadium run, but only one gets the prize? So run to win. Everyone who competes practices self-discipline in everything. The runners do this to get a crown of leaves that shrivel up and die. But we do it to receive a crown that never dies. 1 Corinthians 9:24 and 25. Paul asked God 3 times to take his trial of pain away. Each time God said, "My grace is all you need. My power works best in your weakness." 2 Corinthians 12:9. God uses this buffering, this pain to keep Paul from self-pride, which would have disqualified Paul to be used as largely as he was used to the glory of God. Pride would get in the way of his effectiveness. The true test of character is found in the willingness to bear burdens. If we are Jesus followers, this is how we are identified. "This third I will put into the fire. I will refine them like silver and test them like gold. They will call on my name, and I will answer them. I will say, 'They are my people,' and they will say, 'The Lord is our God.'" Zechariah 13:9. This verse speaks of the third. This basically is speaking to the minority who will hold on to God in spite of the majority of the world who turns their back on God. So too, at the present time, there's a remnant, a small believing minority, selected, chosen by grace, by God's unmerited favor and graciousness. Romans 11:5. God chooses and gives grace to those who have accepted his invitation to come to him. The way of dealing with trial is not by trying to escape it, but by transforming it. We transform by leaning on, depending on God, and choosing to follow his instructions by his grace. It's painful to our fleshly desires and inclinations, but it's developing Christ's character in us. Every mistake, every fault, every difficulty conquered becomes a stepping stone to better and higher life more abundant. This is what makes life worth living and making it a success. I'm going to end with a poem. The heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upward in the night. This has been your host, Matthew Paris. I'm just sharing.